Hey guys, the day is finally come. So it is my first drifting event for the M3. So the previous episode is actually me prepping the car for the drifting event. To be honest, it's not a lot of work of actual prepping. Most of it is just exterior stuff. I think one thing only related to it is some of the interior molding, but it is not necessary. So here we go. We load the car to the trailer and we are ready to go. So last weekend is actually a Soroma Pro 2 shout out. So I bought the ticket for their ski pad. So it's a 2-day event. I can drift the car for 2 days. Just get a learning for how the car would feel, because I never break loose the car and I never drift the car before in the public. Here we go. The first day, I'm actually ended up drifting only 1 day because I broke the clutch by the end of the day. But for the first day, at the beginning when I arrived to it, I quickly find there was some issue of the car. It is the alternator. So the car runs for about 5 minutes and then it died down. So I check it is the battery. And I check the voltage, it's not charging. So that's the alternator. So luckily, my friend Decker and his friend come over and help me out to remove it, and we quickly allocate a alternator in the local area, and then he took me to the shop and bought it. After we replace it, it's already noon of that day, and then we go and pick up some lunch. But silly me, I forgot to hook up the e-fan again, and then the coolant tank was explode by overheating. So in that case, I have to replace the coolant tank as well. So that is another thing happened during that day. We don't even do the first donut or first drifting, so it's already past half day. We allocate the coolant tank as well, so we are able to pick it up, bought it, and replace it. The job is pretty simple, probably take you about 10 minutes, and then you refill the coolant afterward. Here we come. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we finally get over it and start first spinning. So the first run actually is pretty nasty. I'm just spinning out over the donut pads, just get a feeling of the car. And I quickly feel the difference between the E36 M3 and the other cars that I have been driven before. The rear from the E36 is actually pretty heavy, and that makes the transition a little bit challenging. It is also the alignment of my car. Currently is stock. Everything is stock suspension, stock arms, and stock angle especially. And then because of the LSD setup, it makes the car, when you're off the throttle, the car becomes an open diff. Compared to my S13, which is the all-welded diff, it gets a less consistent while it was transition. After about 5 minutes of practice on a donut run, I start getting a feeling of it, and here is the on-dash angle of how I drift inside the car and how I handle the steering wheel. As you guys can see, because of the stock caster of the M3 is so low, the car is not able to self-steering so well. So I have to help counter-steering when the car comes to transition. And that also tackle what's the next mode I have to do, because I was so focused on the exterior but not the handling and performance at the beginning while I bought the car before the first drifting, because I wanted to get a feeling of what needs to be improved, because I have been foruming and browsing other suggestions from the users, but I want to try it on my own and I want to make the call what fits me the best on the setting base and the molding list, because this is a kind of like a budget build. I want to be all out and doing everything upfront without knowing the car from stock. So after the 5-minute donut pad practice, I have enough confidence to go to the ski pad, because now I understand the power bank of the car, understand how it handling. Even I'm not very master of the transition. I'm not even like learn transition so well, to be honest. But it's okay. I can just do it on the ski pad and try to learn it through that. As a stock car of the E36, I think this is really good drift candidate. First is its power. Its power is really smooth. Its engine is really strong. Like with the second gear, I think you can beam through the whole ski pad track without shifting any gear. So after this one, I actually smelled a lot of burning clutch smell, but I decided to ignore it, which is a really bad decision. So for the next one, I'm actually already blown the clutch. So it is basically the clutch start to slip, and I'm not trying to stop the car, but on the opposite side, I'm trying to clutch kick again and re-engage, and then it accelerate the slippery and the worn out of the clutch, because I expect it's really hot, and then it breaks finally. So when I end up braking it, it is sitting and not able to put into gear, and all I can do is wait for the tow truck and tow me out. I think that's call it a day. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good. Like even my car broke down, at least I'm able to get on the field and start drifting the car. And then the more important things is the car is actually able to drift. That makes me really excited. And then I see a lot of potential of this car. First is their power is really good as an NA car, smooth power. I never drive an NA drifter before. My S13 is a SR, has a turbo. The throttle is actually very challenging for those turbo cars, but NA you're actually getting really smooth power and enough power as well. I think the stock M3, my car is 95, which is S50, has about 230 horsepower stock, so which is more than enough for a drift car. And then it holds me able to, you can see those smoke from the donut pad area before. It is making a lot of great smoke, fun smoke from your drifting. And then everything holds really well. The transmission is actually really strong. The engine is really strong. Even it has 300k miles on the engine already. It burns strong like at the moment. So for this car, I'm going to build it up. I'm going to build it more like drift ready. I think the first thing I need to tackle is angle kit and suspension mode to make it more driftable on transition. So let's see how it will turn out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Probably it's my next drifting event, which by the end of this month. I'll use the S13 for sure, because this car needs to be sitting and wait for the clutch to be replaced first, right? So it's really excited. The first step to bring out to drift and feel it. And I'm looking forward to building more content about this car. I think that's call it for the day. Like it if you like it, and please remember to subscribe. I will see you guys next time.